Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome into today's live stream. Good to see everybody. Let's get everything set up, ready to go. How's everybody enjoying Peak Forest? Hoping quite a few of you have picked it up. Good DLC. Very, very good. It's the best one out of the two Steam ones we've got. I'll definitely say that. And I thought today we'd do a bit of Creators Club, because if you watch my earlier videos, I think it was the first look, I did say probably by the end of the week the Creators Club would probably be full of scenarios, liveries, you name it, all for Peak Forest. And I wasn't wrong, because there's plenty of stuff on there. I was just going to run a couple of these today for you. Lee, how are you? Yo, check me out on Mall Street. Absolutely. Why not? Right, okay. I'm hoping Dave comes in, Dave Melody, because the first one that we're going to run is one of his scenarios. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this way, because yesterday I ran it from the route itself and didn't get the livery that I wanted. So if I do it through here, it should be okay. So if I just go to subscriptions, this is the other one we're going to run second. This one, Scenic Stopper with the green 101. But the first one is this one, Diesels on the Peak. So if you want to have a look at this screen, just in case you want to pick it up after the live stream, it says today there is a fair and boat show in Matlock, and also Matlock Town FC are playing at home. You'll be driving the 158 from Chinley to Ambergate as an extra service, making 2 stops. And the 158 Northern livery that we're using is from Yorkie Lad. So, excuse me, as well as having the Peak route, you will also need to pick up that livery. And of course, for the 158, you will need Midland Main Line. There are other. Let's have a look. Actually, if we go into required content, it will tell us, won't it? You need West Cornwall, Diesel Legends, the Class 31, Tees Valley Line, Northern Transpennine, and the Heavy Freight Pack, because there are all different appearances by different AI as we go along. So that's what we're doing. So we're going from Chinley to Ambergate, which is the same run as I did in the ScotRail 47 earlier this week, but we've got a couple of stops this time, so we'll dive into it. Thanks everybody for coming in. I can see we got 5 in. Welcome in. Let's just check we got the right livery, and we have. So here's the 158. Let's get the doors unlocked, and we'll get everything set up, ready to go. Master key on. Put it into forwards. Headlights are on day, which is good. We'll switch on the GSMR, and we'll give it a test just while we're here. Don't need to really put the safety systems on, so I'll not bother. But other than that, we are ready to go. So this is Chinley. Now, is she getting on or what? What are you doing? You know there isn't one for another hour if you don't get on this. She's just staring. She's looking at her own reflection, look. Miles away with the furries. Anyway, let's get the doors closed. There's our guy. Brakes off we go. So Millersdale is the first of the 2 stops. Go for it, Lee, go on. You need to you need to rebrand and come up with a rap channel. Right, 8.4 miles. It's a great DLC. This great DLC with the steamers, but it's even better with the diesels. I wouldn't have it without the steam. I quite like the steam, but it's good that we can have both. Wasn't that long ago, was it, where a route came out and we could only use the stock that came with the route, so quite good that we got Creators Club. And I haven't had to make this, because Dave has done it. Hopefully Dave will pop in and tell us about it. So, uphill all the way out of Chinley for quite some distance actually. The second service that we'll run, so this is going to take us down Chinley to Ambergate. The second service in the 101 we'll do from, we'll do the scenario from Ambergate up to Buxton. So we are coming down from the top of this section of the line and we're coming all the way down here to Ambergate. In the second scenario we'll come from Ambergate, but we'll, at this junction, we'll go off to the left up to Buxton, which is up here. So we'll pretty much get a complete run of the line in all its directions. The only strange thing I noticed, I did run this yesterday, some strange sound from the 158 when it's going in and out of tunnels, so that must be something with the 158. I intended to listen to it again today just to see if I could hear it again, or whether it was just a one-off yesterday, but it was definitely playing up. Thanks for your support, guys, by the way. We only need, I think it's 12 subscribers to 2,000. There's the sound. Hear the sound then? The sound went up and down. Yeah, we only need 12 subscribers to get to 2,000, so that's brilliant. Thanks for your support on that, as always. So the beauty of these scenarios is that you need to keep your eyes open for other traffic that you wouldn't expect on the route, and there's plenty of that. Super Sprinter, how you doing? Oh, that reminds me, Super, I ran your Midland Main Line scenario the other night and unfortunately, just as I was coming into the last station, it crashed on me. But that's not your fault. That's a problem with the route at the moment on PS5. It's crashing at both ends. Nottingham, it's crashing at Nottingham. It's crashing at just outside Leicester as well. Most of the time for me. So I'm hoping a fix is coming for that soon. But I did run it. And I ran it slow as well, so when I got to East Midlands, and you said stop at East Midlands, the light already changed for me as I was coming into East Midlands because I was running late, so I was alright. Alright, we got a 50 coming up. Yeah, just listen to the sounds when we're going in and out of tunnels. Something strange going on. I know you would expect it to get louder because the sound's enclosed in the tunnel, isn't it? But it seems a bit weird. It's fine when it's in the tunnel. Millersdale is next. So I think we've got Millersdale, we've got Matlock, then we've got Ambergate, as I remember. It is a PS5 bug. Yeah, it is. It is. I've been reporting that as well via the Ambassador Discord. Just been reporting in with that. I think they know about that one. How's everyone doing on this Saturday? What's the weather like near you? It's absolutely gorgeous here, I must say. It's about 19 or 20 degrees C at the minute outside. It's very, very hot. I'm sat inside in the shade. I was out this morning for a little while, but I'm in the shade, so I'm all right. But it's very nice out there. Meant to be nice all weekend. So I'm doing this now. I've got another video planned. I'm going back to fishing North Atlantic. I realised it was June last year when I last did something on fishing North Atlantic, and I've just picked up a brand new boat, a bigger boat. So I was going to put together a little bit of a video on that later on today, if you guys are interested. The sound just went funny again. You're working on a Buxton to Ambergate and then a port to Derby to Nottingham using the 158. Oh, of course, yeah, because we can pretend it. It joins, can't we? A two-parter, yeah. By the way, have you guys that have got this DLC? You know when you go past the quarries, have you heard them blasting in the quarries? If you listen carefully, you can hear them. Really good how they've done it. The rumbling of the explosions going off. We'll try and listen out for it as we go past. Although it is a bit noisy from outside. They've got class 45 there. Coming through, looks like a parcel train. That's the first of our guest AI. See if you can hear any explosions once we come out of this tunnel. Might be a bit noisy. Didn't hear anything. It does happen though. A couple of 37s there. They come in from the Tees Valley line. Right, we've got a 60 coming up. It's a very good route, but only able to add 12 trains. Hard to make it realistic with the amount of coal and stone trains that use the route, yeah. I don't know how many there are on this, in this scenario actually. There's 5 or 6, as I recall. So that's where you go off to Buxton. If you take that curve there, that takes you off to Buxton around that corner. So we ran that earlier in the week on the 101, and we came from Buxton around here and then up to Chinley. That one's on the channel if you wanted to have a look at that one. That was good fun. Let's get down for this 50. Don't forget to give me a bit of a cheeky like, if you don't mind. That'll just help people find the channel then. Driven 158 miles. There you go, level 10 in the 158. It soon racks up, doesn't it, that? You don't realise just how many miles you've done. And of course I've been using it on here and on Midland Main Line as well. And I haven't, because of the issue with it crashing, I've not really played Midland Main Line very much the last sort of week to 2 weeks. Right, I was going to speed up then, but actually Miller's Dale is upon us. Ah, British Ace is streaming, is he? Ah, okay, fair enough. Yep. Yeah, he's the expert. Oh, there was the explosion. Did you hear that explosion? I was talking over the top, unfortunately. I don't know if you heard that. Okay, this is Miller's Dale. Just sneaking in, we've got some AI at the back. So let me go and look at this. Open the doors. It's a Whistler. A class 40 there. Once again, probably newspapers or something similar. They must read a lot of newspapers on this route. That's the second one we've seen. Mind you, this is meant to be, it isn't with this, but it's meant to be 1963, you know, no internet. You know, TV not like it is now. Everyone reads a newspaper just like the old days. Dave, how are you doing? Doctor Who has brought his 158 over. Right, I was trying to set off with the doors open then. Hang on. There we go. Right, 13 miles to Matlock. Secret Raven, how you doing? Welcome in. Good to see you. So this scenario, Dave's just come in. This is Dave's scenario on Creators Club. If you did miss the beginning of the stream, rewind it afterwards if you want to pick this one up. I do show you the screenshot in Creators Club so you can go and have a look at it. I think it's got 20 odd subscribers so far, which isn't bad, Dave. It only went up yesterday, didn't it? Late yesterday afternoon, I think. You're at Peak Rail last weekend. It's a shadow of itself after playing this route. Yeah, I bet it looks a lot different. And is it still? I mean, I don't know much about the route, but is it still? Are sections of it closed, or is the actual route still the same? You know, can you go from Ambergate to Chinley and Ambergate to Buxton? You know, like you can on here. Is it exactly the same, or does it perhaps end early, or some stations have been closed, or how is it compared to this? I'm always interested to know, how it looks. I might snip on YouTube actually and just see if there are any of the cab ride videos for this route, which I quite like doing when I've played a route in TSW, a route that I don't know, which is, to be honest, most of them. I like to go on and just have a look at a cab ride just to see what it's actually like. I tell you the one I was quite amazed with when I did that, the Arosa line. So I think you sent it me, Dave. Actually, there was an Arosa line video in 4K, and I put it on in 4K, and it was in the snow. And having run it in TSW so many times, I put that on. I was amazed at how close it was to it. It did look good, especially in 4K. It looked great. So they did a good job really replicating that, and a lot of them are the same, aren't they? But with these ones, because they're set, 40, 50, 60 years ago, it's difficult to get a cab ride video which will reflect what this looks like now in game because of its age, which is a shame. Oh, part of it closed. Right, okay. Hope Valley. A lot of people have been asking for the Hope Valley Railway. Again, that's one I don't know. And Buxton Station is no more. There is a Buxton. Is it the other Buxton? There's two at Buxton, isn't there? But the one that appears in this route has gone. I was trying to think of the word then. Features. The one that features in this route. I got you a super, yeah. It's a massive shame, isn't it? I've talked about this before, but not for a long time. There's a route it's about a mile's walk from me, and it's the Preston to Longridge line, and there used to be not far from where I am. There used to also be a Courtaulds, textile factory, when I was a kid, trains used to come up from. It starts off just outside Preston Station, and it branches off up through Deepdale, near where the football ground is, and comes up past near where I am, and then goes up through Grimsby, up to Longridge, and then there was a small branch line that went to Whittingham Hospital, and as industry at Courtaulds, there's a 101. The industry started to sort of falter and sort of go out of fashion and shut down. It was one of the routes that got shut under Beeching. Well, he shut half of it. He didn't shut all of it. They kept the bit to Courtaulds open for a little bit. They shut the rest of it, and that's a real shame. And now it's a cycle path, so you can still go down it. It's quite nice, but there's a scheme underway at the moment, because most of it is still accessible. They've not built on it. There's a couple of places where you would have to go round, but what they're trying to do is, over the next 5 years, is open a tram line along that railway, which is quite nice. So effectively, it'll be kind of like you'll be able to travel the same route again as all those years ago, but just not by train, by tram. It's a shame, really, because actually it would be a useful service that when it was a train line. I remember as a kid, because me nana lived right next to the track. She backed onto it. There were always trains, diesel, loco, BI Blue, freight trains coming up, going to the Courtaulds factory. I remember that quite clearly. But they closed it all down when I was about 4, which is which is quite some time ago. But I can remember us having to jump out of the way, picking blackberries, from the brambles at the side of the track. Safety at its best, and then a train coming through, and we'd have to stand to the side. That was in the 70s. So yeah, Preston to Longridge. Look that up if you're interested. It's quite good. Not looked for the Monsell Trail in this game yet. Should get off at Darleydale, Bakewell to find the trail. Yeah, there is some trails. Yeah, that Matt said about those, didn't he? But I must admit, I haven't explored yet to go and see where those are. There are a few areas where you can go walking around. SNCF, bonjour, ça va? That's Bakewell, isn't it? .9 to Matlock. So in your description, Dave, you said that Matlock Town are playing at home. There's not many on the train. There's a couple. Look, I don't think she's going now. She's not dressed for it. She's dressed like a maid from Downton Abbey. Look. These guys are all looking official. Yeah, she's maybe going. Lots of people in suits. Here we got the 150s. Wow, that's a long consist, that. So they come in from West Cornwall. Trebian, SNCF. Mercy. Slow down a bit too much there. All the trains should be loaded, passengers except the postal train. I think I've seen 2 postal trains so far. So 45 and the 40. It's the judges going home after the Eurovision. Hey, yeah, we haven't got Jedward on board, have we? If we are, I'm going to kick him off at the next stop. I don't see him. There's our maid from Downton. The 40 should be the postal. Yeah, I saw 45 and it looked like it had the postal carriages on the back. Or I was saying it could be newspapers. I was speculating it could be newspapers. I have been really enjoying it. I tell you what's got a lot of good feedback, the all mixed up scenario as well, which it took me 2 hours 21, and I think I've got 23,000, about 23,500 action points in the end. I quite enjoyed it. I was nervous though. I was nervous about spadding. I have the save functionality switched on, so at various points I kept saving it just in case. But it was 2 hours 21, but it seemed like I was only doing it for about, I don't know, about an hour. It seemed like about an hour had passed. That's a great sign, isn't it, that when you can play something for a couple of hours, not really realise it's been that long. It's a good measure of the enjoyment, isn't it? So that was a good challenge, that one. The Royal Train one actually is a good challenge as well, because the signalling. Dave, you made the trains longer to fit the stations. I've got you. Yeah. Oh, look at this. We got the Intercity. 47. So I think I don't know if you put it in as that livery, Dave, or whether that 47 is just randomly picked a 47 out of my list that I'm subscribed to. I suspect it's done that. So that 47 could just appear as the standard BR Blue one for some people. It's randomly picked. How do you change the weather in the scenario planner? Can't remember. Everything should be BR Blue in this. I've got you. It has been BR Blue. The first couple that we saw, the 45 and the 40, were blue. There's only been that 47 just then. And I know you've got a double header of something else coming up soon, and that's blue, because I don't have that particular loco in any other livery at the moment. In fact, I don't know if it is in the well, I'm going to just spill the beans. Is the Class 31 available in the livery designer? Because I don't recall ever seeing a Class 31 that's not BR Blue in the game. So I'm presuming then that it means it's not in the livery designer yet. That's why. You don't think so? Yeah, I've just not seen one. I don't recall seeing one at all. It's always blue when I see it, which is fine, because that blue livery, the way they've done the 31 as well, with all the the dirt on the side and the weathering, looks pretty good to me. But it would be nice for us to be able to get some different liveries out as well. Yeah, not seen one either, Dave. Yeah, I really don't think it's available in the livery designer, because I don't use the livery designer. I can't really remember what is and what isn't in the. I know the Great Western Express HST isn't available. The Midland Main Line one is. But the 31, and I'm assuming things like the other thing is the Class 33. I've not seen the 33 in anything other than the green. Be nice to see that in blue, wouldn't it? In a BR Blue, that 33. So this is Matlock. Yeah, so this livery, I've had a couple of 158 liveries in Northern. This one is by Yorkie Lad. If you want to go and look this one up, if you own the 158. He was also telling me that he's done a modern day Northern Transpennine scenario, so I think I'll go and have a look for that as well. Because you know I love a bit of Northern Transpennine. Yeah, we talked about this route before on what's still there and what isn't. You know, if I went to this route now and these stations didn't look like this, I'd be really disappointed. Because they look really good, don't they? What a great era it was to travel by train when the stations look like this. They got loads of character, haven't they? You know what I mean? The adverts, everything. Right, she's not reading that paper, she's watching somebody, look. She's not really reading that. See, look at that. Yeah, they look really good. It's a spy. Yeah, I think it is, yeah. And we'll come back. We could come back in an hour's time. She'll still be sat there reading the same page. Right, Ambergate, which is our final stop, 6.2. Oh, the 20s are available now, are they, in the planner? That's good. You did a Northern 150 on NTP a couple of years back. Yeah, I have a couple of 150s in Northern, a couple of different ones. I don't know if one of them's yours. You want a 45 in green, like D8 Penny Gwent. Yeah, so all of them are not in, are they? I don't recall seeing a 45 in anything but blue. I think the 40's available. I think I've seen the 40 in different liveries. Can't remember. You picked up Yorkies because it's got the 158 numbers on the front and the rest of them don't have them. Yeah. It is. It says in the description, doesn't it, for this one? It's quite detailed. It is quite detailed. It's quite good. I'll have to have a look for some of his other stuff. Hey Joe, how you doing? Welcome in. Not too many red lights for this run, no. Well, Dave's created this one, so I don't think we get any red lights in this one, so we're fairly safe to come up to speed. He says as he starts speeding. Your screenshots are all Dewsbury, right? Yeah, I can't remember. I'll have to have a look. The reds trip you from time to time. Yeah, you mean on this route, Joe, or other routes? Because this route, I've noticed that in some places the reds are quite next to the stopping markers, aren't they? And they said they were going to leave a bit more space in future, so that you had a chance to overshoot the stop marker and not hit the red light. But in this one, doesn't seem to have happened. They are quite close. So there's Matlock. You said that's Matlock Town, didn't you, Dave? This. It's 12:31, so they probably kick off at 3. Nobody's in there yet. That must be the clubhouse there. Changing rooms, etc. Yeah, the 40. I thought the 40s are done. I've got a couple of 40s that randomly appear on Northern Transpennine, different colours. The 33s to make you. I haven't seen 33s. Have you got? Do you mean the 31s? I've seen 31s. I haven't seen 33s, unless I missed it yesterday. Yeah, 31s, I thought so. You got me going then. I thought, oh, 33s, because that's the other thing. I don't see 33s in the in scenarios. Are 33s available in Scenario Planner? I don't recall seeing them as AI in anything that I've run. Matlock Town's in the middle of town now. Ah, right. Yeah, because it's where it is just there. It's not right next to the station even, is it? So it looks like it's out in the countryside a little bit. I'm gonna have to look for some at Dave then with a 33 in it. I want to run the 33 a bit more, you see. And it's a shame really. I thought the 33 might appear in the Diesel Legends pack, you know, in BR Blue with the rest of the stuff. But it doesn't. Right, let's get some speed off. We should probably see the 31s anytime. We haven't seen them yet. The 33s run mostly in the southern region. Yeah. See, that was the other thing as well, because because I'm up north, obviously, I hadn't seen a 33. Then when I went to the railway, the Heritage Railway at Bury, and they had the BR Blue 33 there that weekend, I had a look in the cab, and again, it's amazing. I almost could have, if it had been permitted, I almost could have got in the cab and driven it because of how many times I'd driven it in TSW. I was dying to have a go, but obviously I would have got in some trouble for that. Yeah, that's why the green, yeah, from down that end, yeah. Go Matlock. Hey Krazza, how you doing? It's a big old long 158, this one as well. Oh, here we go. Here they come. Perfect. So I see what you mean, Dave. If you fast and you reach Ambergate, you'll get a red whilst they pass through. So yeah, we've met them about a mile out of Ambergate, so we're all right. 33 used to go from Manchester to Wales. Oh, did it? Right. And Coventry to Birmingham kept the 33 on because 47 failed. Joe, first trains you learn with the locals that you have there locally. Whereabouts are you, Joe? You'd have to say exactly if you don't want to. Generally, where are you? If you reach Ambergate at 12:30, the 31s are due to leave. I see, yeah. Oh, you're in Wisconsin. Got you. Actually, we need to do a stream of the US stuff. You just reminded me. I've been that busy recently playing the new stuff like this, Midland Main Line, etc. The US stuff has fallen by the wayside. I was really enjoying doing some of those freight runs. We've got some really good US stuff now at the moment in the game. Alright, let's get the doors open. So this is the screenshot. This is the thumbnail that I've put. Was it that one? No, it was this one. There you go. That's the thumbnail for the stream that I took last night when I ran this. So this is the end of the one that Dave's done. So don't forget, if you want to pick this up, go over to Creators Club and just search for Dave on there. Very nice, relaxing scenario, that. No cylinder cocks to sort out, no large ejectors. Straightforward. So that's that one. So we'll do another one. We'll go the other way. We'll go up to Buxton now. But what we'll do is we'll go in the 101. So let me go back to the Creators Club again. Yeah, it was a good one, that, Dave. The EU trains are easier, more user-friendly. Some of the American scenarios are very in-depth with the use of banking comms and so on. Yeah, they are, yeah. I remember first doing Sandpatch, when we first did Sandpatch, and we had the banking stuff. I remember, the exact sequence we needed to do to get the banking all set up was strange to get used to. There's one scenario, I can't remember what it's called. It's quite a long scenario. I think it's a couple of hours where you have to actually walk to the back of the train, and the train's about a mile long. You've got to walk to the back of the train. I don't know if any of you guys remember the name of that one. And the name of it just escapes me. And lots of people had trouble with that one. It was one of the first ones we had using banking, using the banking stuff. Right, so Scenic Stopper is the next one we're doing. This one's got 95 subscribers. That's the one that we just ran. That's Dave's. Diesel's on the peak, if you want to get that one. So Scenic Stopper. This one's by CAA. We've had some CAA's stuff before. This is take a relaxing cruise along the Derwent Valley and Peak District in the 1960s. You'll be operating a BR Green Class 101 from Ambergate to Buxton Midland, calling at more stops between. For this scenario to be authentic, my Class 101 BR Green yellow panel livery needs to be downloaded. So I did get that. I got that one as well. I've got a couple of 101s now, but I did download that one for this scenario. So let's get into this. Hopefully it all loads up okay. Oh my! How long has that been on? You know, I've been talking all this time. Right, hang on. And now I've missed the station. Do you know what I did? I put it on mute. I put it on mute to take a drink. And didn't realise. I've been talking to you guys the whole way out of that station. Okay. You can hear me now, good. Oh dear me, right. Yo, let's back this up, shall we? Let's just release the brake. We need to go into reverse. We need to put the gear back to 1. And let's go back into the station. And do you know, I made some really good points then as well. I was responding to everything in the chat. Oh dear me. I'm back now. I'm not going to repeat myself. I gave Super Sprinter a complete rundown then of why I have the braking lap. So I hope you saw it visually. Oh dearie me. This is what happens with live TV. Right, that's good enough. We'll do that. Deep in concentration, yeah. So, I need to make sure I'm going back into the forwards again once we go. I wondered why I lost about 10 viewers then. I can't remember at what point I took a drink. I think it was right at the start of this service, wasn't it? I've probably not talked for the last 10 minutes. Oh well. Right. I think we're ready to go up to Cromford, so let's go. No, it wasn't your fault. I paused it and you didn't hear me gulping a Diet Coke down and forgot to put it back on. We've got the radioactive, look at that, we've got the radioactive windscreen wiper again. Yeah, so I was just saying, Super Sprinter, that, yeah, I do leave it in lap. Because, well, I'll show you. Basically then you're ready to brake. So if I brake now, like that, and then if I release the brake all the way, so that's the brakes released. Now if I want to put the brake back on again and it's an emergency, and I apply the brake, I've got to go through all the released, then to lap, then to brake. Whereas if I leave it there, I'm in the middle, I'm ready to do what I need to do. So I release it, reset it to the middle, and then I'm ready just to apply it when I need to. So I kind of learnt to do that pretty quickly when I was using this, and I found it just helps me a little bit. Oh, I was definitely enjoying it. If Dave hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have even known. Oh dear. It is like driving a car, it's exactly that. And you can see your rev counter there going up, the two bars, the sort of blue and red ones. So as soon as it gets up to the top, you take the power off, put it up to 4, wait for the number to turn orange, and then reapply the throttle again. Just like putting the clutch in on a car, yeah. Sometimes fall asleep when you're playing it. Definitely. Yeah, the clacking over the rails is definitely soothing on this one. But that's exactly what they sounded like. Right, so we can idle now. We've got 1.3 to Cromford. Yeah, exactly, Super, yeah. The trick is knowing how much brake to actually put on, I think, without slowing it down too fast, but also, getting enough brake that you need. It's just judging it. I think you can only properly get that just by playing it, just experimenting. You change it when it goes into the V shape in the dials, yeah. Yeah, so you can do it that way, of course, yeah. I must admit, I tend to look at the hood more than I do the dials. Right, so we've got the station just before the tunnel, so we'll start to put a little bit in, then apply it. It's just judgment. Apply a little bit more. You just keep adding a bit, taking away, adding a bit. So like now I'm going to stop short, so if I release it I might not stop in time. I might stop too early. I'm also in the wrong gear, so I knock it down to first. Accelerate a little bit. So it's in lap, just add a little bit now. And then lap it, and that'll bring us to a stop. So it's an interesting one to drive, isn't it? There's definitely some challenge in it. It's nice to drive, especially in this livery. Yeah, it's difficult to teach anybody, isn't it? Because it's very much by the way it feels, really. Alrighty, let's get the doors closed. Yes, I don't know when I was on mute, but I was talking about. Did you hear me talk about the BR sign that he's made himself? Which I imagine is pretty difficult to do, unless you've got that as a decal, in which case you can just stick it straight on the side. I can't remember at what point I went on mute. Right, so I've took the brake off completely. So what I'll do is I'll set it back to lap, then we're ready to reapply it. So throttle off, gear up, apply the throttle, let it build up. So yeah, if you look at what Dave was saying, the dial there with the yellow bar at the top, same thing. When the needle gets over to the right, drop the throttle, up the gear, reapply the throttle. So either way, Matlock Bath is next, or if you're from the south, Matlock Bath. We'll all take a bath. Speaking of which, here comes Farah. How are you? That's all right. We did Dave's scenario down to Ambergate, and now we're just going back up to Buxton in the 101 on another scenario. Both scenarios on Creators Club. And that's nice to see as well, it appearing as AI on the other side. That's quite nice. Right, we'll just trickle along to the end. I was saying at the beginning, probably when I was on mute, that it can be difficult in this to stay on time. But of course, this is a Creators Club scenario, so we don't actually need to stay on time. And this stopping point, actually, I think one of the doors is going to be off the platform edge. But we'll see. Yeah, there you go. Let's close these, it's dangerous. That one is dangerous. That one's doable. It's actually, it's stopped for one of the steam trades, isn't it, that stopping marker? Because, you know, we would be down here, wouldn't we? And if you think about it, in a steam engine, the engine's going to be right there, so it doesn't really matter. And then the coaches are going to start from here. So that's why. Yeah, go for it, Dave. That's the thing, isn't it? When you know, I think we talked about this before. When you see somebody else playing the game and you're just watching it, it makes you want to fire it up, doesn't it, and have a go. I don't know what it is with that radioactive windscreen wiper though. It's strange that. I think it, you know, the ability to use different trains on different routes also might encourage you to use, you know, something that you've not, you know, you don't often play. I mean, I don't often drive this 101 anymore. If I'm on Northern Transpennine, for example, I pretty much drive one of the big diesels. But this train seems very suited to this route, so it will encourage you to use the 101 a little bit more, I think. You know what I mean? If the 101 isn't one of your go-to trains in the game, it might be a little bit more with this route. Probably applied a bit too much there. So we'll just creep along to the end. There we go. Right, let's get the doors open. That's a better platform. It's a better stopping point, isn't it? Matlock. You might do one with the Pullman. It used to run on here. Yeah, do one with the Pullman, Dave. I'll download that. I quite like using that Pullman. The Midland Pullman, yeah. Hey Luke, how are you? Nice to see you. Hey Tin, just found your channel a couple of days ago. Found it because you downloaded Train Sim and your emergency stop videos saved my life. That's good to know. You're more than welcome. I hope you weren't trying to watch it while you were performing an emergency stop, because I think by the time you listened to my waffling, I think the issue would have resolved itself. You'd have been through the buffers. Welcome into the channel though, Luke. Appreciate it. You're more than welcome. Trey's a Rosa videos is a master, yeah. I kind of do a forced emergency stop on a Rosa out of need. Just hit any brake button. The problem with the Arosa line is, and I've said this every time we've played it, is you get lulled into a false sense of security. You actually think there's not a lot to do on Arosa, and you just set yourself going and it kind of does its own thing. But then, you know, the brakes on Arosa is really where the skill is, isn't it? You do have to, you know, you do have to really be on the game with the brakes. And the fact that you've got a loco brake, driver's brake and dynamic brake, and knowing which one to use, and I think on Arosa coming down the hill you've obviously got to use a combination of the dynamic and the train brake to do it properly. So there is some skill there, and because I don't play it often, I always cock it up, always. And that's what Farah's referring to. Yeah, it's all good fun. Rowsley is next, 3.8 miles. You were stuck for about 15 minutes and trying anything on the train. Was it the one with the HLL fill? Was it that one? Was it the ICE one? And you watched the video and it was good in 10 seconds. Yeah, it's just you only need to see it once, don't you? And then you know, you'll remember after that. Most people watching probably already know, but I keep a little. I've got a little notepad with different tips for different trains, because sometimes you don't, you know, if you've got a big collection, you don't play the same train very often, and they all drive a little bit differently, especially the German ones and the US ones. The UK ones tend to be a little bit more simpler, but I write things down, you know, little, do this with the brake, make sure you press this if you have an emergency stop, blah blah blah. Otherwise you just forget. And one I can't get straight in my head for some reason, and I always have to refer to the notes, is the power changeover at on South Eastern High Speed in the Javelin. I still can't get that in my mind. Yet on the LGV, the French route, I can do the power changeover there like it's second nature, which is strange. And it's actually more difficult to do it on that route than it is on South Eastern High Speed. But that's why I could never do the Rubik's Cube. I can't remember the sequences. I can get so far and then I'm stuck. So you won't be getting a Rubik's Cube stream anytime soon, you'll be pleased to know. Okay, we are cooking with gas, as they say, up here. 67 miles per hour. Getting up to a decent speed. What is the top speed of this? It's about 75. I'm looking for it again. It's usually written up somewhere, but I can't see it. I mean, this is a fairly old train, isn't it? It's nice to get it up to speed though. Oh, your granddad used to drive the original Pullman. That's a good story, yeah. The white train with the red line across it. Yeah, it's probably the ICE one. Oh wow, we're gonna have to go for the brakes now. Yeah, the game is fun. Yeah, do you know, it starts off just as fun, but then you actually get into it, and you start looking at things outside the game as well. You know, related to trains and the routes and things. So it's a good general all-round hobby, I think. So this is Rowsley. I think it is Rowsley. It's not Rosley, is it? Is it Rowsley? It could be either or either. Luke, love sim games a lot. Seemed like one you would enjoy, and it's been good so far. Channel has been super helpful teaching you the game. No, you're welcome. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's nice to hear it helps though. Hi Michael, how are you doing? Sorry I didn't see you sneak in there. How's Canada this morning? Right, let me clean up the engine, which is an aircraft saying, isn't it? Cleaning up the controls. So I'll put it back to first gear. We will take off the brakes and onto Bakewell, platform 2. Reset the brake to lap while I remember. Sometimes I forget, but it is easier if you do that. Oh, super, you failed your train driving test in the 90s, so went to engineering. What did you do when you mean a railway engineer, super? What were you doing in the engineers? I used to work for the civil engineers in Preston. I worked for the Preston P Way on the West Coast Main Line, and the Barrow up to Carlisle, you know, Cumbrian Coast route as well. But I wasn't an engineer, I was only a clerk. I spent many a Saturday night, like 3 and 4 in the morning, in a dark, wet tunnel while they inspect the inside of a tunnel and see if it needs maintaining, etc. Happy days though. Nice and sunny hot day today. Yeah, it is here as well, actually. It's quite warm. Luke says, what sim games would you all recommend next? Fernbus on the road or Bus Simulator 21? In reverse order, on the road at number 3. Definitely. For me personally, at the moment, then Bus Sim would be number 2. Fernbus would be the top of that list. Although from Tuesday, when the new update comes out for Bus Sim 21, I think it's going to be really good. Because you can freely just drive around and set up services and not have to worry about all the daft tasks and things that you need to do currently. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I think it'll be a much better game after that. They must have had some feedback about that, I think, with people in a similar boat to me that thought that way. Getting an early test to what the summer will be like. Yeah, I imagine it gets quite warm. Yeah, Fernbus then Bus Sim. Yeah, that's what I would say. Yeah. Most people on console will only play on the road because it's really the only trucking game. If something else came out, then on the road would probably have a difficult time, I think, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. Can you hear that? We got some wildlife somewhere. But I have to concentrate on the braking, not the wildlife. Because we're coming in hot. Actually, we're not too bad. Could have been a pheasant, that. Oh, you did welding. I've got you. Is it just a bad game? It's not a bad game. No, it's not a bad game. I think it's just... I don't know, I think we all get frustrated that we get told updates are coming and then they don't come, and then there's bugs that exist for quite a long time before they manage to fix them, things like that. It's not a bad game, don't get me wrong. You'll enjoy driving a truck around in the game itself. That's what it's about, and it does that. But if it's in a sale, yeah, then pick it up in a sale. Absolutely. Alright, this is Bakewell. I don't think we've got any Bakewell torts on this station, although I can't remember whether this is one of the places I have hopped out and done the collectibles. Everyone's getting off the bus there. Let me just have a quick look. I don't know what's happened to that guy. Looks a bit nervous. Look at him shaking. Oh, there he goes. He's had enough. Right, let me just have a look here. Oh, there we go. Bakewell torch. Those are Bakewell torch. So, I'll tell you what we'll do. Before we move off, being as we're not against the clock, hang on, let me do that properly. We'll go and get the Bakewell torch, shall we? Let's just make sure nothing's coming. We'll go and get them. There we go. That's those collected. Okay, we're good to go. Right, we can get the doors locked. Off we go. Millersdale is next, just under 6 miles. Fernbus is on sale. Yeah, I forgot to mention that for anybody that's not anybody that's on PlayStation. That is. I don't know about Xbox at the moment, but definitely Fernbus is on sale at the moment. I think it was Ratty that told me that. Ratty Fuss, who isn't in the stream today, but he said he was going to watch it on demand. So I think it was Ratty that told me. Steve, how are you? On the road, stupid reversing and stupid delivery places. I guess you don't like it, Dave. I like it in this green. I like it in this green better than the blue. It's got something about it, hasn't it? .2 miles, 5.1 now. Where are we stopping? So Millersdale, Millersdale, then Buxton. So that's not bad. It's a shame we got this kind of, I don't know what it is. You see that on the track in front? It's kind of as if there's an invisible block going all the way across the front, isn't there? But it shows there in the track. Not one of your best games. I think it's alright though if you get it in a sale. If you get it in a sale, you're alright. How is the PC coming on? Right, so I got what have I got left? I'm waiting for Amazon to send me the CPU cooler. I have it on order, but it's out of stock at the moment. I saw it come up at a price that was too good to be true, so I ordered one. They're selling it for 200 and odd quid everywhere else, and it was 120 quid on Amazon. but they haven't got any in stock, which is probably why they may have cocked up on the price. But I'm waiting for that. I need to get a power supply, and I need a keyboard, and that's it. Basically, I've got everything else, so I'm pretty much ready to go, I think. When I do get that going, one of the first things I want to do on stream is I've got Train Simulator Classic, and because of being in Preston, I want to do the West Coast Main Line to Carlisle over Shap. I've got that route. I've got it in my Steam library, so I want to run that. One of the first things I do. So we'll do some train related stuff on the PC as well. The other thing I'll be doing is Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm going to be doing that because I can't do it on the PlayStation, and I don't have an Xbox Series X, so I can't show you that at the moment. So I want to do that, and then we'll do things like Euro Truck, American Truck. We'll do that. Things along similar lines to what we've been doing so far, but just gives me a bit more scope, Wonder if we get all the routes from DTG. Possibly, if I ask nicely, they will, as long as I promise to stream them. Yeah. They were good enough to give me the West Coast Main Line over Shap. They did give me that. I've got the North Wales Coastal as well, which I think you know quite well, Farah, if I remember rightly. There are tons. Yeah, I imagine there is. I would like to get all the West Coast Main Line ones though. I need to look them up. I'm not that familiar at the moment with TS Classic because I've never been able to play it, so I've not followed it. But obviously, what I would like to do is go all the way from Euston up to Glasgow and beyond. Are there currently DLCs that will get you from London Euston to Glasgow on the West Coast Main Line? I keep seeing about the missing link. What's the missing link? I think Alan Thompson Sim do the missing link, don't they? Is that so that you can? Does it link it up so you can drive it all in one go? Is that what that is? Because they're all separate DLCs, aren't they? Similar to Train Sim World. So you'd have to sort of drive maybe London up to somewhere, then jump out, change scenario, go into another DLC, run the next part. And I think they've created something. I might be completely wrong, but have they created something that lets you run those DLCs seamlessly all the way through if you want to? That was the impression that I got. Because that could be a thing. That would be a long stream, that, wouldn't it? Euston to Glasgow. Yeah, you lost track of it. Yeah, there is a lot. The amount of money that some people have spent on Train Sim Classic, crazy. I see it on the forums, people mentioning just how much they've spent. They should do North Wales Coastal for TSW. Well, I think it's a popular route on TS Classic, isn't it? And I bet they look at the sale numbers on TS Classic for what they should bring out for TSW. That's what the missing link is. I thought so. It just joins them up, so you don't have to keep stopping and starting and changing routes and things. That makes a lot of sense. That's quite handy, that, isn't it? You're smashing Euro Truck Sim 2 at the moment. You know, you love it. Tons of small details you'll enjoy. Yeah, I will enjoy it. Especially as you can drive the UK stuff as well. That's interesting. This is Millersdale. Might just end up slightly short. Nope, we're good. Spent about 400 quid on Train Sim Classic and don't go on it anymore. Wow. UK needs work, rest of the map is great. I've got you. Yeah, I think with TS Classic, I think. Oh, what am I shutting the doors for? Wrong button. I think definitely TSW's the way for me. I think I'm just interested to play all the routes around my kind of local area that I have some experience of. I think that's the only draw to TS Classic for me. So, you know, I won't by any means be buying loads of stuff for TS Classic. Definitely not. Buxton, Midland is next, just under 5 miles. Go behind the signal box. Clean the brakes up. The CD-ROMs, that's taking everyone back. Actually, CD-ROMs, they're not that. It's not that long ago, is it really? The last time I had a PC, a Windows PC, I was playing Call of Duty from the disc. Call of Duty 2 it was. I played 1 and 2. They were both World War II themed. Played those on PC before I moved to console. Well, I say before I moved to console, I've always had a console of some description. Yeah, the graphics on this, yeah, compared to TSC, this is almost real, isn't it, in some ways? And I didn't realise as well, just until I've been looking around in the Steam store, that actually the DLCs for Train Sim Classic are very similarly priced to this, aren't they, as well? I thought they'd be a bit less, but I know everybody tends to wait for one of the very frequent Steam sales that comes up for TS Classic. It seems to be on sale, you know, most of the time, doesn't it? And that's when people pick up the stuff that they want, generally. That's great, that. So here is where I mentioned before, we've got Buxton coming up in front. If you go around this curve, that takes you up to Chinley, where we were before. So both scenarios we've done today are available on Creators Club. Not part of the base game at all, but it just shows, you know, how further you can just extend the playability of each route, which is what I was saying during the week when we ran this green one, Buxton to Chinley. Yeah, if you've played Steam Train solid for a week and you think, what else is out there, just go and have a quick look on Creators Club. Quite a bit of selection, and not just for this route. Go and have a look for your other routes as well. Northern Transpennine as well, which has been out for a long time. If you've got Northern Transpennine, there's some very good stuff for that on there. How was Dave's scenario? Pretty good. Yeah, pretty good. It was like a train spotting scenario, really. There's a few to see along the way. Roblox graphics, yeah. So last year I built that PC for my son, and I went in his room the other night. He was playing something. He was playing some Roblox thing. I said, you've got like a very, very decent spec PC here, right? With your 3070 graphics card in there, Founders Edition. Why the hell are you playing Roblox? I thought you were going to show me all these games with ray tracing and all this good stuff, you know, that you really needed this PC for, that you were telling me about. I've not seen any of that yet. I keep telling him, next time you call me in with something that's going to blow me away when I see it, you know. I haven't seen that yet. He plays some other thing as well constantly. I'm going to butcher the name of it, but I always see it, his name comes up on Discord with it underneath. I'm sure it's called SCP Laboratory or something. I don't know if you guys are aware of that, you guys that play things on PC, but he plays that a lot. But he does play Star Citizen. Star Citizen actually looks very good. I don't know if you're familiar with that. That looks pretty good on his PC. Right, we're just a mile out. I do like this run into Buxton as well. Once we get around this curve and we start seeing Buxton in the distance, with the viaducts, etc., looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm with you, Super, yeah. Right, we've got a 40 coming up. I don't need the brakes because we're on a hill, so... So here's where we first see Buxton coming into view. So Dave, you also told me, after I asked in one of the other videos, I said, what's the domed building which is hiding just behind the big hand over there? You just see it now. You said that's the... Did you say it's the Buxton Baths? I think you said. Let's just slow it up slightly. Hey Mr. Water, how are you? I'm good, thank you. Yeah, the Spa, Buxton Spa, yeah. I'm going to drop the gear down to first, being as we were at such low speed. There's another one, there, Buxton, ready to go out. Now, this is where you've got to be good with the brakes, because you haven't got much space to play with. There's buffers hiding right behind this Oh, look at that. I'll take it. Let's have a proper look at that. That was close, wasn't it? Actually, it's not as close as it actually looked from the cab. So everybody's jumping on and off. Actually quite a good run that. I quite enjoyed that one. That's the first time I've run that one. That was Ambergate to Buxton. This is good. I mean, look at the shadow here from the window. Oh, if I can get up there. Now there's not as much sun coming through the window as there is, you know, here at the bottom, which is a shame. That suggests there's lots of sun coming in, and it's quite dark. But it's nice how they've, you know, imprinted the pattern of that window down on the side of the train and on the platform. I think that's the kind of thing you're talking about, isn't it, between TSW and TS Classic? You get more of this kind of thing, which you don't always appreciate it, do you? Really, you come to drive the trains, and you don't always appreciate just the little bits and pieces that are actually in the game. Let's close the doors. And that is it. So it took an hour, that one. Nice little scenario. So that took an hour. Dave's took about the same. Bit less, a little bit less. So yeah, go and pick those up on the Creators Club. And don't forget, if you find any others on Creators Club that are interesting, or you've put any up yourself, ping them in the comments of one of these videos, because I do read all the comments. So I will pick them up, and if there's any interesting ones, we'll maybe run a few of those and just play something a little bit different to the normal game that you don't normally see, because it's got a good interest level then, even for me. So thanks for joining me though this afternoon. I'll let you go out and enjoy the good weather. I'm going to be back with a Fishing North Atlantic video over the weekend. There's something we've not seen for quite a long time. Going doing a bit of scallop fishing in a new boat, a bigger boat. So that will be just a short one on the feed. But until then, thanks everybody for your support. Thanks for coming in. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.